Did Donald Trump just pump and dump the stock market? Don't take it from me. Listen to Trump himself.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company, it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad, because he's in financials. I've always been.
Well, I'm glad somebody's making money, Donald. My savings fund to buy a house in an area of Britain where my children won't be targeted by a grooming gang took a rather nasty hit this week, but at least your buddy Charles Schwab managed to make the GDP of Portugal in 2 days. Let's look into it. Last week, President Trump announced sweeping tariffs on all countries around the world, even tiny islands inhabited by penguins who will no longer be able to sell their biscuits in America. Stock markets around the world crashed, erasing trillions of dollars in value and making lots of people go, no, and threatening a collapse in the financial system as big banks faced a fire sale of assets to meet margin calls. At least it put paid to accusations of Trump being a Nazi. The German stock market surged under Hitler, and Hitler sent mentally deficient people to death camps. He didn't put them in charge of economic policy. And look, I know a lot of you love Trump and are going to be sitting there being like, why are you being mean about Trump? Listen, I love Trump too. He's hilarious, and his stuff around slashing the size of government, securing borders, and getting drag queen nutsacks out of school libraries is just mwah. I even did my little bit to help him get elected. I contributed jokes and materials to his events through my comedian mates in the States, but I'm pretty sure most people didn't vote for economic collapse or more regulations or higher taxes, which is essentially what tariffs are. And it's weird to see Trumpists insist that tariffs are good, and then insist that it's good when tariffs get paused for 90 days, and then insist it's good when tariffs get lifted. Even Elon Musk, who did a bit more than me to help Trump get elected, slagged off the tariffs, and no wonder, as Musk was personally down over $100 billion at one point, which is quite a lot of money, even for Elon Musk. Some people said this was all Trump's 5D chess move. The tariffs and tanking the stock market was a move to push money from the stock market into bonds, which would allow Trump to refinance trillions of dollars of government debt at a cheaper rate. However, it didn't work like that. Money didn't go into bonds. Bonds were actually sold off too. So what was it all about? Well, was Trump straight up manipulating the markets to make money? He announced the policies he knew when stocks would crater and when they would recover. This isn't a new thing. Plenty of Democrats are suspiciously good at picking winners, which isn't surprising when you consider top politicians are the first to know about any political decisions and regulatory changes that will move the markets. Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio boomed 54% last year, beating hedge funds. Who says that socialism doesn't make people rich? I mean, look at Kim Jong-un. He's doing alright for himself. So having seen Democrats do this, you can understand why Republicans might want to get in on it too. On April the 9th at 9:37 AM, Trump posted on Truth Social, that's his own social media platform, stating, "This is a great time to buy." Less than 4 hours later, he unexpectedly declared a 90-day pause on many of the tariffs, excluding China. There was a huge leap in the stock market as people piled back into the market. But what's this here? Oh, 20 minutes before Trump's post about time to buy, some people flooded back into the market. Why was there a sudden jump at this point? Did they know Trump was about to make the call? Even before then, Republican insiders like Marjorie Taylor Greene bought tons of stocks when markets were tanking. What did you know that we didn't, Mansi Republicosi? Trump even bragged about how much his buddies made, and now people are demanding answers. Senator Adam Schiff expressed concerns about potential insider trading, announcing plans to request information from the White House to find out more about it. Elizabeth Warren called for a probe into whether the tariff policy changes manipulated markets for personal gain. She thinks the only acceptable gambling is in the casinos on her reservation. And former White House ethics lawyer Richard Painter said he's loving this control over markets, but he better be careful. And he noted that securities law prohibits trading on insider information or helping others to do so. The people who bought when he saw that post made a lot of money, and Trump made that post on Truth Social. Maybe he was taking the opportunity to drive traffic to his own social media platform, which is a big source of his wealth. His stake in it is worth about $2.5 billion. If people see it as a source of insider stock trading tips, maybe it'll take off even more. We've got to remember that this isn't the first bit of financial finagling Trump has been accused of. In January 2025, shortly before his second inauguration, Trump launched a cryptocurrency known as the Trump meme coin. This token rapidly gained attention and achieved a market capitalization of approximately $10 to $15 billion within days of its release. Following this, First Lady Melania Trump introduced her own cryptocurrency, the Smelania token. Man, they really need to get better names for these. She looks like she doesn't smell. Maybe launch launched the next one in the UK, Melania, so you can have a pound attached to its name. The pound is a strong currency and there's a lot of British men who'd like to give you a strong pound. This Melania launch happened less than 48 hours after the Strump coin launch, leading to a sharp decline in the value of Strump. According to this anonymous account on Twitter that I unquestioningly believe, because I believe everything on the internet, the Strump coin crashed by 60% in just half an hour, wiping out $43 billion in value. Yeah, I don't know how it could wipe out that much value, considering it was only valued between $10 and $15 billion, but hey, somebody wrote it on the internet, so it must be true. Anyway, this sparked widespread controversy and allegations of a pump and dump scheme, a form of fraud where the price of an asset is artificially inflated through misleading statements, allowing insiders to sell at a high price before the value collapses, leaving other investors with significant losses. Critics point out that 80% of the Strump token's supply was owned by organizations connected to Trump. A lot of people close to Trump had an opportunity to get very rich very quick. So what about the current stock market roller coaster? Is Trump just flagrantly using his position to enrich himself and his buddies? Well, maybe. Or maybe he really did have some sort of idea of returning American industrial production to its 1950s heyday with these tariffs, ordering people back into the factories, like Mao ordering intellectuals back into the farm fields, even though the economy has moved on and most jobs are now the equivalent of a woman playing on a phone rather than a man riveting a car together. Or possibly, just maybe, it's just Trump's reality TV star desire for drama and to be the centre of attention. Having world leaders panic and beg for meetings to negotiate tariffs played right into this. Anyway, don't worry about Trump getting in trouble. He's shown he's the master of avoiding going to jail. And if you want to help me rebuild my personal finances, you can support me making these videos by becoming a Patreon. You get exclusive content and live streams and stuff like that. There's a link below. Oh, and don't worry, I'm going to be back to saying nice things about Trump next week unless he craters my escape fund again. Okay, thanks for listening. Goodbye. Bye bye.